none about you. Not even as an individual. It's like you're making that your only identity, and it's like, hey, I'm over here too. Like,
I think that's dangerous.
I agree. Yeah,
Because I think at that point, there's a need that's not getting addressed, and whether you're aware of it or not, it's not gonna just.
yeah.
I don't even know. I can't even tell you what's happening, but something's happening to where people don't value it the same anymore. So you got something going on in your head. Your kids remind you of like, man, you doing all right, man.
Yeah.
That's what I was just about to say. I don't know if it's that it impresses me. It's just the timing of, I could be having a hard day and really just be in my own head. And I don't know when it maybe a month or two ago, we're at the house, and again, I think I've said it on here before. Most of the time, every day, I try to get off of work, and although I've had a long day, I try to make sure I put my stuff down and go hang out with them, even if it's for 10 minutes. Do something just to make sure they know, like, look, I'm not ignoring you. I'm not.
What's good, y'all? It's the Triple F Podcast, back with another one. This is episode 12. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Ty.
It's Marcus.
Dre.
And like I said, we got another one today. It's episode 12, Triple F Podcast. Go like, comment, and subscribe. Check the website, flyfatherfraternity.com, anti-deadbeat fatherhood, hoodies and shirts, all that good stuff.
Go get it.
Let's get into it. Marcus, how you been? What's new with you in the last, I don't know, however long it's been, but
whatever.
Man, I'm good. I'm getting over a little cold, but outside of that, life is great. Yeah, family straight. I done lost about 10 pounds since the last episode.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
What I'm saying? Yeah, I've been
Nice.
locked in.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good.
that's what's up. Lost 10 pounds. Hey, bro is winning right now. He done lost 10 pounds. He done went viral on TikTok.
For real.
Bro, he's
Numbers is
achieving his
running
goals.
up on
He's running it
TikTok.
up. He's achieving his goals right now.
Yeah,
And
for
hey,
real.
I will like to say, I'm proud of you because you said one of your goals this year was to get in or try to get into life coaching and stuff like that. And I see you doing that
You
right
already,
now.
yeah, that's
Appreciate
true.
it.
I was waiting
Yep.
till now to tell you that, bro.
Appreciate
But
that.
yeah, that's dope.
It's our year, man. Let's get it. It's
Yes,
our
sir.
year.
Dre, what about you? What's new with you?
None. Same stuff, working, taking care of the kids. I'm actually proud of my little family unit, lately. The girls are in sports and they just started, and they doing good, man. Basketball, a little iffy, but the gymnastics side, they killing it over there. And Amber, she killing it. I'm actually super proud of her. Over the weekend, I was a little nervous because Mia, she got her situation going on, so I wasn't sure how she would do with the basketball games and stuff like that. And honestly, it wasn't looking too good. So I'm like, you know what? Just go ahead and let her focus on gymnastics. We're going to call the basketball quits. You know what I mean? Amber can't. Nope. Ain't no quitting. Ain't no quitting. She if she don't play in the game, she at least going to go to practice, support her team, but she going to go through the season. Almost dropped a little tear. I was proud.
Yes, sir.
I was
Man,
proud
that's
of
dope.
her.
That's
So,
dope. That's
yeah.
real stuff right there.
But yeah, other than that, how about you?
Life's been good. Cade just turned 2 not too long
Yeah.
ago.
Yep.
Terrible, too.
Man, terrible too. But bro, the life of the party. I love
Great
it. bro.
birthday party.
He,
Great birthday party.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
It was.
Yeah, a little Toy Story theme.
Yeah. Nah, it was nice.
Alea 6 months, growing fast, crawling, pulling herself up on stuff.
Already started.
Yeah, already starting. I will say this: at the beginning of the year, I was 311 pounds. Today, I'm 298.6.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you know what I'm saying?
290
Nice.
what?
298.6.
Yes, Sirski.
So we moving that
All
way
in the right
too.
direction.
Yes,
I will
sir.
say though, a couple of them pounds was because I got sick.
Hey,
A couple
but
of them
it don't
was.
matter.
A
It don't
couple
matter how
was
you
because I
lose
got
them.
sick.
It don't
but-
matter how you lose it.
Hey, just keep them
It
off.
don't matter
Yeah,
how
yeah,
you
gotta
lose
keep
it.
them off.
Keep 'em
Gotta
off.
keep them off.
I always call that the starting point. If I catch a little cold and I get sick and I can't eat, I lose 3 pounds. Oh, that's my starting point. I'm gonna start here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some stuff has been going up for us. Marcus and I, we attended the what? Remind me of the exact name of it.
The 15% pledge.
15% pledge. It was a event thrown for obviously black businesses. It was their way of pledging their 15%, just like the name is. We were there representing Amazon because our games are on Amazon, and It was pretty cool. I got ran up on by one of the Tommy Clown dancers.
They want to battle or what?
Man, she
bro up.
hey, she went up.
Hey, bro.
I was scared for real.
Didn't even give you a chance, huh?
Nah, I was scared. I didn't do nothing. I was just looking scared. Yeah, it was pretty good. So yeah, lately everything has been pretty cool for real. No complaints over here. Yeah, so we can get into it from after that. I wanted to ask you guys this question. Has anything happened with your kids in the past since we've recorded our last podcast that you guys need or want advice about? It could be anything for real. They could have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'll give the example for me. Cade's only 2, right? And as you said, terrible 2s. I don't know where he didn't learned it, but bro's just been throwing the stupid word out, and he just been
For real?
He been using it, and he used it in context too.
Yeah.
Like, how you know what this mean for real?
Like calling people stupid?
Yeah. Not people, but like things stupid.
right.
Like
Like, that's stupid.
yeah. He's getting there, and I'm like, how do you even? Where'd you even learn that? First of all, and I'm proud of you for using it correctly.
Hey,
You are intelligent,
I got
son.
some
You are
on that
intelligent.
too. I got some on
Yeah,
that.
but my question to you guys is how do you handle that with a 2-year-old who really probably doesn't understand the meaning of the word, but they're using it?
I mean, I think the only thing you can do with that young is really just the guidance portion. I mean, right? You're not upset because you're not too concerned about it either. Of like, you should not be saying that because, again, he's not saying it to someone. He's saying it about things. But I think just the guidance to say, okay, like, you don't need to say it all the time, number one. And number two, just look, like, don't teach them. Like, you don't call people stupid. You don't, just that type of guidance. I don't think he's going to fully understand, but
Yeah.
when you step in and make it a known thing of like, hey, you don't need to, like, relax, then I think that's all you can do right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like at that age, like the best thing you can do is just be consistent. If you're telling him he shouldn't say it, then you can't really let it slide. You have to just always be like, we don't say that or whatever, But I think the only hard part really is like if you slip up and don't say it, then they start thinking they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you laugh, you know how kids get when you laugh at something they're doing.
Oh man.
Then they just like, oh, I'm gonna keep doing this.
Man, I'm not gonna say who said it, but somebody was saying something, and they were like, "What the hell?" and Kay started just walking around. What the hell?
That's the girls.
He started laughing, bro, and he just kept going like,
because now you think that funny? Okay.
Yeah, he was going crazy with
it. Yeah, he know how to build off it.
Yeah.
But that's the girls. Of course, certain curse words. I hear them. They in there, something happen. Oh shit. And I'm like, ugh. So of course, obviously, right, I tell them, like, you can't say that or whatever. But on the topic of this, about, like, not being too mad about certain things, I think I'll come to the conclusion that I might not be too mad about them saying certain words if they use it in context, to be honest. Like when they're at home and they stub their toe and they're like, damn it. I'm like, well, I mean, it did probably hurt. It did. And I think I've come to that conclusion because I am a person who I curse at home, and I don't right. I don't really censor myself at home in front of them either. So it's like I can't be too judgmental about what you're saying. And now again, same scenario. I had to use guidance, right, and say like, look, you can't say this out in public. They're a little bit old enough to understand, so I tell them, like, you can't speak like that in public, like at home. You shouldn't be saying it, but when you say it, I'm not going
Does that work?
to tear into you.
The whole, like, only at home kind of thing, does that work, you found?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. I won't say all the time, but certain things, not everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's funny because I just saw a video of Tyga and DDG.
Oh, I saw it.
And Tyga's son walked in the room and said, I guess Tyga asked him, like, why was you acting like that on the plane or something? And he was like, it was hot as and he said the F word.
But
DDG looked like, whoa, like, hey, how old are you?
Like, so nonchalant that you could tell he speaks like that. Like, that's part of his language.
That's
tough.
But of course, then to the opposite point, Tyga was like, but he don't say it at school. Like, he don't talk like that at school. I'm like, he says a little too freely to think that he don't say it at school.
Yeah, he said
he let it fly.
Oh, yeah.
He let it fly. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. But
that was insane.
But what about you? Anything that the baby's doing or?
Well, okay. One thing I guess we could use some advice on is like he's sitting up really well now, so it's like we're gonna start feeding him real food. But we kind of been scary about doing it at the same time. We've given him like some things that he can just try and hold and like try and gnaw on, but we haven't actually gave him like any like mushy like food he can actually eat. But I don't know. What did y'all start with, or how did y'all feel confident starting that? Because we kind of just been like hesitating a little bit.
So, according to my wife, she like a baby. That's her. So I let her do all this. You know what I mean? But
guru.
We just started giving Alea like, well, first she tried applesauce. She really didn't like it, and then bananas and carrots. Janae was basically saying that like, you should start off with bland foods.
Yeah.
And I will go with that. Just blend up or whatever you got to do to make it, baby proof. Those type of bland things, fruits and vegetables for real.
Okay. And that's kind of the same thing we did. Plus, we just did like one at a time. Like we didn't overload them, right? Like, oh, carrots, peas, and blah blah on the same thing. Is like, well, let's let you try applesauce. Okay, you didn't like that. Let's try this thing, because then you kind of can eliminate, or process of elimination. And I think the other thing we started doing is just like we be sitting at the table eating something. I just take a little bit on my finger and let them just taste it to see like, oh, what's your reaction?
See, and I be stopping myself from that because I'm like, this got a whole lot of flavor on it or a lot of seasoning on it or something. So like, I do think I've heard that approach of like make it as bland as possible because it ain't no going back of like, damn, I done tasted some good ass mashed potatoes and gravy. Now you're trying to give me a bland ass carrot or whatever.
We had that problem more with Mila than we did with. Mia could eat when she was a baby, but I think from that standpoint, it would happen a lot more with Mila because then my family was involved, my wife's family, Amber's family was involved of like, oh, taste this, and it's like, so now her taste buds a little bit more on the, I want salty, I want, now she developed those taste buds, so to your point, keep it bland, or again, if you're going to do it like off of your plate, just a very minimal amount, just to let them, a little tip on the tongue, just like, that tastes kind of good, something. Yeah. But or you put cereal in the bottle?
We haven't yet.
No? Try cereal in the bottle. It makes it a little bit thicker. It gives it a little bit of flavor. Now, again, I ain't talking about no, regular cereal. I ain't talking about like Fruit Loops or nothing too sugary, but,
I've heard that too, cereal.
Yeah.
Oatmeal type stuff, like.
Yep.
But yeah, as of now, Alea don't really care for food.
So, man, I just know Wes gonna be tearing food up, bro. The way he, anytime you cook or like have food around him, bro is just mugging like, give me some. You just know he wants something.
Yeah.
He want to see what it's about.
What did I have the other day? I had something, and I let Alea taste it, and Janae was like, "Why would you do that? That's salt on it." And I'm like, she thought it was good.
Yeah.
Man,
that's funny. I think what do I need some advice on?
Or maybe not even advice. Just
no. I need some advice. I was just trying to gather my thoughts.
Which one?
I could combine them both into this one thing. Okay. So you said terrible twos, and I know they said it on another Joe Budden podcast probably or whatever it was that I was watching, but they need to come up with terrible 7, terrible 6, whatever type of thing they need to come up with. Terrible 3, something, because the girls are in this stage now where like the attitude went from like it was tolerable. Like I'm like, you a little kid, I ain't even gonna fight with you. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was on a 2. It's on like an 8 right now. Like I'm talking about to the point where I go in the room, they might be fighting each other, and I tell them like, get on your bed, don't move till I come back in here. Mia was laying on the floor, and she started laughing, and she said, no. So at that point,
I'm sorry.
Now my voice had to go up about 10 more octaves, had to echo through the house. Now tears are flying, right? It's just, but I feel like that's been happening more frequently now. I don't know if it's because, right, I don't yell at them for no reason. Like I only yell at them when I need to, or I discipline when I need to. That's just how I parent, you know what I mean? There's no reason for me to just yell at you every second of the day for little things. Yeah. So I don't know if it's maybe that I let a little bit too much slide, that I feel like I don't need to talk to you about, but maybe they're looking at it as
we getting away with
we
it.
getting away with it.
Sure.
And so now I'm like, I don't know if that's what's causing it, or if they think like, oh, Dad's just telling us to do something, but it's not that big of a deal. So I don't know how to approach it. I don't know if I should start making things a bigger deal than they are to keep it consistent, or
It could be all those things. It can also be them just growing up and like discovering themselves
as
a part of it. Which I'm not saying that it's acceptable for them to do X, Y, and Z. I'm just saying like,
well,
it might not even be something that you did. It could just be them.
and that's what I was wondering. Honestly, I was wondering that too because Mia, she's the older one, and she got a little sister. She's doing all the independent stuff. She, reading and writing and going to school and doing all these things and becoming being a kid and getting older, and she's figuring those things out. So I think that has part to do with it. But the problem is it then filters down to Mila, and now she's extremely smart, and so she takes it as like, yeah, okay, man, whatever you say. And again, they understand like when I mean business, I mean business, but it's like I have to get to that point. Yeah. Whereas I don't know how I should.
Do you reference other times like say you got on them about it and you like had to raise your voice, and then they starting to do the same thing again, and rather than raising your voice again, you can be like, you remember what happened last time y'all didn't listen? Do you do that type of approach?
I do sometimes, and I'm still trying to figure that approach out because I think I need to navigate how to do it like in different situations. So like to your point, for example, we have our dining table and our couch is kind of like the back of it's kind of towards the dining table, and Mia does this thing where she like wants to swing on it, like lift herself up and swing on it, and I've been telling her like, stop doing that, like just don't do it. So she'll stop for a little while and she'll go back to doing it. And sure enough, the other day she did it too hard and messed around and slipped out from under and fell. She's crying. And of course, my attitude at this point now is, I told you. Like, no, like I don't want to hear no crying. Like, no, there's no crying at this point. There's nothing because I told you for a reason not to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, is that, referencing it in that moment, is that the best thing? Because it's like, well, you're crying, and it's like, are you even really getting understanding?
I feel like maybe after consoling her,
No, but ain't no consoling. See, so
well, that's what I would do.
You would console her first,
I would console her first, make sure she's okay or whatever. But then I would sit her down and like, now you see what happened when you didn't listen to Dad. Dad tried to tell you this because that could happen, and then look what happened. And then like, for me, it's important for kids to have critical thinking. And so it's like, I can tell you stop every time you do something, but I want to get to a point where you realize a pattern of like, Dad saying this, I didn't listen, I busted my ass.
Right.
Dad said this, I didn't listen, I busted my ass. Dad said this, maybe I should listen. You know what I mean? So like, for me, that's the approach I would take.
And maybe I do need to throw in the consoling part more, because I don't.
I feel where you're coming from though too, but
I don't like. I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat it. I don't like. I will when I absolutely feel like it's necessary. Like I'm like, ooh, she might be, something might really be wrong. Yeah. But other times I see it as either I told you not to do that, and now you're just deciding you don't care, or it's like something that's maybe the critical thinking part, like you said. Maybe it's something like, if you would have just taken the time to think about what you were going to do before you did that, this wouldn't have happened.
Right.
And so the consoling part, I kind of just throw out the window at that point, because I'm like, we could have avoided this. Not to say that it's the right.
You think she's more receptive, like while she's crying or after she didn't?
No, after. Down, yeah, no, I agree with that. That's
calm down.
No, I agree. Yeah. No, that's true.
This is making me think of a question I have for you guys. And I get this from just how we're speaking right now. I could be wrong, but this question is to you, Marcus.
Okay.
Would you describe yourself as one of the people that gentle parent?
I don't think so. I think I'm pretty strict. I just think that I'm heavy on communication. And I'm going to try and communicate in a way that's actually going to be received, rather than just, well, I told her, and I yelled it at her and she's not receptive to that or whatever. That's my problem. I'm going to try and actually get the message through to her.
Well, that would be considered gentle parenting though, right?
I don't know. I think that's just good communication.
No, I'm not saying it isn't.
But I
I'm
think
saying
he's saying although it is good communication, it would fall under one of the parameters.
Maybe it does. Maybe
gentle parenting.
because in my mind, gentle parenting just sound like extremely soft or like it don't sound productive. But maybe I don't really know what it is for real.
What I've gathered from it is a little bit of both, where it's like it's a softer way to get your point across to your kids than to be yelling or to be naturally, like what Dre said, he ain't that way. Like he I told you so. Yeah. And I'm like, I be finding myself the exact same way with Kate.
I got the definition right here.
Go ahead.
Gentle parenting is a child rearing approach that prioritizes empathy, respect, and connection, and aims to raise independent, confident children.
It sounds like what you said, though.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
because I think you could still be
stern.
I was gonna say or strict, right? Strict is its own thing, but your approach to how you do certain things would be where gentle parenting is at.
I agree then. Based on that, yeah.
No, I mean,
that shit sounds soft though. I don't like how it sounds, but I think it's effective. I do.
No, and I was asking that because I feel like, is that something that everyone can just do, you think? Or do you feel like that's something that you got to be, like, innately, like, that's who you are? Because I have tried to be a gentle parent, and it ain't in me. I be like, nah, bro, he tripping. Like, it just ain't in me. Like, it ain't in me, bro.
I think you could learn it and adapt. I think I do it sometimes, but definitely inconsistent. Because I'll get, like, Amber will be off in the corner doing something, and maybe I'll have a moment with either of them, Mia or Mila, right? And where I get down on their level, get down on their level, talk to them, and I'll walk away or I'll go sit next to her, and she's like, oh, I'm proud of you. Like, that was a good, right? Because she would know the normal process would not be that. And she's like, that was good. Like, you doing a good job. I'm like, oh, okay. So I know I can do it. It's just, I got to be more consistent at doing it if that's the way I want.
Do you think your kids benefit more from gentle parenting? And I ask that because I don't think Cade does. Janae be trying the gentle stuff, and he don't be, it just don't work with him. And I'm like,
I think that's important to know too.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, he don't be listening to this gentle stuff. He needs some aggressive.
Yeah, I think for Mila, gentle parenting does not work. Mia, I think it works to a certain extent because her brain functions a different way, right? I think I have to pick and choose how I'm going to approach things because some stuff that she does now that I've instilled in her based off of how I just react to things, and it could be out of fear, to be quite honest, but there's times when she'll do something and she'll look and she'll say, nope, not going to do that. Like, she'll physically say that, or she'll say, I shouldn't do that. Or she'll say something that is telling herself, maybe this isn't a good idea, or maybe I don't want to do this. Or I'll hear her say, like, it's okay, like, I'll try again, or I'll do, and so I'm like, okay, something that I'm doing is right. Mm-hmm. Now, again, my approach isn't always the best, so sometimes I see the adverse effect to that, which is she just immediately starts crying, and it's like, that's not how I wanted it to go, but my approach caused it to go there. Mm-hmm. So I think, again, it's that balance. Mila, oh, hell no. Hell no. She trying to test my patience. She trying to test my patience. She trying to test my knowledge. She trying to test everything. And she just look at you and laugh like, I'm like, oof.
Yeah.
But
I think the more I think about it, I feel like it's just being able to withhold my initial reaction and to, like, actually strategize what's the best way to solve whatever I'm dealing with. So, and sometimes it causes me to even, like, delay my reaction. The other day I was talking with Anna, and I'm talking to her about her spring break, and she kind of quickly told me, like, she ain't coming with us for spring break. Like, told me. And I'm like, what you mean? She's like, oh, my cheer coach said da-da-da, and we can't miss this. I said, your cheer coach told you. You talking to your dad right now, you feel me? And I'm like, I had to kind of, like, process a little bit more of how I wanted to communicate because I didn't want to just snap at her, even though I felt like I needed to correct the way she was handling the conversation with me. We end up hanging up the phone and then talking again like in 20 minutes. And I felt like I was more able to have that conversation because with her, early on, before I kind of figured out how to speak with her and how to have this more patient approach with her, there was times where I went off the deep end a little bit and like really got upset and raised my voice and whatever. And I just realized over time that wasn't really productive. And, you know, I don't want to make her cry just for me to get a point across and just certain things like that. So it's just something I've learned to do.
The question, I really had two questions, but the one question, especially like you said, you're a big communicator. When it comes to the kids, especially on a like, what level do you take it to of communication where you're like, okay, now I have to switch on my approach because you really either aren't understanding or I feel like I really have to drive this home. And again, maybe it's just switching your process of communication, but at what level do you let it get to where you're like, okay, you really...
I mean, punishments happen, you know?
Yeah.
Where I'm telling you this and me telling you this is not enough. Something else has to happen too. Like that happens, but in terms of me like being irate or shouting or whatever, I don't feel like it really... I just don't feel a benefit to escalating to that version of me with her. So...
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, when you said you had two questions.
Yeah, the other question I had was kind of off of that subject, but in you talking, she's in cheer. That's what you said, right? She's in cheer, and I don't know how long she's been in cheer.
Just a couple months.
Okay. Maybe that changes it a little bit, but because my question was going to be, especially in your situation, she's involved in something, and right as we all play sports here and we know what it takes to be successful at that or practice and the tournaments and all this stuff, you kind of make a commitment, and we're big proponents on, look, you commit to something, this is how you go about it, and you continue to do it. That situation arises of, I got practice and I got a tournament or so-and-so during this time period, but you as a family person and as a dad, you're like, well, we got plans.
Yeah, I mean, you're not just not going to come and spend your week with us. So to me, I can holler at the coach and we can figure out what is she missing or what can I work on extra with her or whatever. Like, to me, that's not even a big deal. It's just, we can supplement that.
No.
But family is family, and when you have time that you come and spend with us and come be with your brother and like, we doing that. That's what it is.
Now, do you think that sticks when she's 14 or 15 and she's been doing it for years and now she's developed like, I want to take this to the next level? Again, I don't know about cheer, right? But I want to go to college or I want to do this and do that. It's like at some level it moves from this is just a recreational situation this is my...
We're going to always do what makes sense. Right now, it's not really a big...
Yeah. That's why I said, I moved it up in age, because that's different.
I wouldn't do nothing that's detrimental to, like you say, if she has an opportunity to get a scholarship or whatever. I'm not,
Yeah.
I understand both dynamics. Right now, you're 7 years old.
Right.
You've been in cheer for 2 months.
Yeah.
You'll be all right, baby. Like,
yeah. And I think it's different. I think the dynamic is different, right? The reality of the situation. I think it would be different if she's living with you versus not living with. I think that does change the perspective too, because it's like, okay, we understand we could work around. Like you said, if she's here, we could work around. We'll plan our trip this weekend. We know you got this weekend, but at the end of the day, like you said, she's 7.
And even from our perspective, I need her to always know the foundation is that us spending our time with her is priority, and it's limited, and we don't get to have her as much as we want to. So when we do, that's what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm sure she'll appreciate that when she's older.
For sure, I agree with that.
Hey, that's some big time stuff for you to come back to the conversation.
Hey,
parenting is like night and day from when we were kids to how people are parented now. Like, that story makes me think of when I was 5 years old. I had an opportunity to go play basketball with another team, or with the same coach, but it was another team. He started a travel ball team.
Yeah.
And him and my dad got into it, and I was like getting ready for practice. And I don't know what words they had, but I just remember my dad coming in like, you ain't never playing for him in your life. And I'm like, I start crying, bro. Like, I'm like, man, my friends, like, I don't even understand, like, you don't understand what's going on. Yeah. And as a kid, you just want to go do what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And for you to just be able to take yourself out of the conversation for a second and then come back to it and better explain, or I don't know if you had to explain again or not, but, like, you had a productive conversation. That wasn't a thing when I was young, I feel like.
No, it's hard, too, bro. It's hard. And Karis be looking at me like, she be trying to mouth words to me, like help me through it and stuff when she know I'm processing in the moment. But yeah, I think I'm getting better at it.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. So I want to move on to something lighter. I mean, I guess it's still like pull on your heartstrings or whatever, but it's lighter. I don't know if your kids do stuff that impress you or just like make you feel like you're doing something right, but I had this moment where this had to be 2 or 3 days ago, bro. Cade has a hard time falling asleep at night, so sometimes I'll hold him before he goes to sleep. And like I picked him up, I sat in the chair, I was holding him, and he said, "Dad, close eyes." But he was saying it like to pray. And I was like, man, like it grounded me because I'm like, I didn't even think about doing this right now. And you guided me to be intentional about this.
That's dope.
And it was, bro, I started crying for real. Like it was so dope to me. Like, bro, I got a 2-year-old that's trying to pray with me right now.
Yeah, that's dope.
I thought that was
no, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know if your kids do stuff like that just impress you and make you feel like, man, I'm doing something right. Even if you in the midst of your own struggles or you got something going on in your head, your kids remind you of like, man, you doing all right, man.
Yeah.
That's what I was just about to say. I don't know if it's that it impresses me. It's just the timing of, I could be having a hard day and really just be in my own head. And I don't know when maybe a month or two ago, we're at the house. And again, I think I've said it on here before. Most of the time, every day, I try to get off of work. And although I've had a long day, I try to make sure I put my stuff down and go hang out with them, even if it's for 10 minutes, do something just to make sure they know, like, look, I'm not ignoring you. I'm not, so I think like I said, a month or so ago, get home, super long day, tired, stressed out. Not that they know, right? Well, maybe they do. And randomly at different times, both of them came and said, "Dad, I love you. You're my best friend." Hey, man. You're my best friend too. But it's just like stuff like that it's those types of things more than anything, right? It's the timing, like you said, the timing of it. Like you didn't even know I was having a hard day, but for some reason you thought today at this moment was the time to tell me that, or to say, close your eyes because he's trying to pray. Like those things are like, how is this? Like, this is a crazy world for that to happen.
Yeah.
For it to be like, something told you to tell my dad, you're my best friend.
Man.
I was good the rest of the night. We could have went and played. We could have went outside. I was straight for the rest of the night.
Boost the energy for real.
No, that's beautiful. Kids are a blessing, man.
Absolutely. I think sometimes I feel like, I'm trying to think of the right, like sometimes I feel like God speaks through them to us more than he speaks directly to us. For some reason, way, shape, or form, I don't know if that's the right way to say it. But again, stuff like that sometimes they don't even say anything to me, and I just look at them, right? I want to say like 2 or 3 nights ago. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you what it was. But in my brain, I just told myself, like, damn, are you doing a good job, like, as a parent, as a family man, as a dad, as a husband, everything. And again, not anything that told me to tell myself that. I just random thought in my brain. And the girls went and played sports, or we were at home doing something, and just watching them, I'm seeing their mannerisms, I'm seeing their thought process and what they're doing, their homework or whatever, and that right there just told me enough. Or we're walking and, Mia's saying hi to everybody and she wants to shake everyone's hand, or Mila's, saying, "Oh, thank you, blah, blah, yes, sir, yes, all that, yes, ma'am," and it's like just those things, watching, I'm like, okay, I guess I am doing a good job, right? It's like maybe I was doubting myself, but God told them, or speaking through them and those actions to tell me like, no, you good. Like watch what's going on around you essentially more than being in your own head. That's kind of how I feel.
That's dope. I don't quite have a moment like what y'all talking about, or nothing came to mind, but have y'all ever been in a bad mood because of your kid? Like Wes, one night this past week, just would not go to sleep, bro. I'm trying to give him the bottle. He just trying to chew on it because he got his little teeth. He just think he that guy now. He can just chew on it instead of drinking the bottle. And he's like swinging on me. He's doing everything except drinking the bottle. I done looked at my watch. I've been trying to feed him a bottle for over an hour. I'm like, bruh, I already had thought like, let's do this real quick. And, me and wifey could watch a show. That's out the window.
Yeah.
I'm getting frustrated. And I'm trying to feed him this bottle, bro. And then he just look over at me and just start cheesing, smiling at me, bro. And I'm like,
Can't even be mad no more.
I couldn't be mad, bro. I could not be mad no more.
Yeah.
I'm like, man. It be making me emotional because I'm like, bro, you're growing so fast, dude. Yep. Like, I'm going to miss this. Let me just stop complaining. Let me just sit here and enjoy this. It just melts me, bro.
It was fast.
He was like, I got you.
Man.
He's like,
Hey, that makes me think, though. Because I be in situations like that with, like, Alea or Kay. Just something that I'm really trying to get them to do. It made me think, like, most of the time, they don't be doing it because they just really don't want to do it. And I just want them to do it.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
Man.
Yeah, I think I'm going to actively try to get better at that. Like, when they not trying to go to bed, all right, don't go to bed then. You'll go to bed when you're tired.
We'll see what Janae say about that.
Yeah, for real. Because sometimes it'd be at the most inopportune times. Like, we be at home chilling. Mila like, I'm going to go watch TV in my room. I'm like, all right. 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, it's a little too quiet. Let me go check on her. She in there like, I'm like, at 4 in the afternoon, your mom gonna kill me.
Man.
And of course, what does Amber say? You didn't wake her up. She gonna be up all night. I'm like, nah, she gonna be tired still. 10 o'clock roll around, 11 o'clock roll around. Here she come. Can I sleep in the bed with you guys? I'm like, oh, dang. Yeah, she's looking like I told you. Yeah.
I guess it'd be like that for real.
It do.
Dre, you have a topic in here that says, do you think there is a line between your kids and your marriage, or do you consider it one blended situation?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the people I've been married couples with kids, I feel like for some reason it's been like a topic maybe in conversation between them and I, or just in general about, like, let me speak my opinion, I guess. Amber and I's marriage is separate from, there is a portion of our marriage that is separate from our kids. Mm-hmm. It's right. We're an entity, they're an entity, and we're all an entity together. I feel like some people don't see it that way. They see it as, well, we're married, but we became parents and now that's what we are together. And I don't see it that way. And I feel like that's sometimes a cause for disruption in the marriage or in your household or whatever, because I feel like no one's ever on the same page about how we should handle our marriage and how we should handle our parenting with the kids. So that was kind of how I was asking the question. Yeah, do you see your marriage as one, situation and your parenting as one situation? Or do you just see it as that? Like, well, we're parents now and that's who we are.
Well, no, I guess I view them all individually, but like at the same time, I don't actively think about these things. It's just like I just know it that we're married, we're one. The kids are another thing, but we are all one at the same time. Like we're all.
Yeah, but do you consciously? You don't think about it, but subconsciously you could, because do you make sure that you say, "Hey, Janae and I need time together"?
Yeah, I mean when we can, for sure.
Right, but that's what I mean is like, right, Amber and I, we don't do it as much, but we make sure it's like when we get the time when my sister-in-law might have a day off, hey, can you watch the kids? Because we're going out to do just us a dinner, lunch, whatever that may be. Or to your point, you kind of had mentioned you're trying to feed Wes and you're like, okay, I could do this, get back to wifey so we could watch a movie. It's like when it's our time together without the kids, right? We all gonna have our time together, but I feel like it's such a big thing to make sure your spouse knows, like, there is also just a us dynamic, right? Even if it's just sitting on the couch watching a movie and the girls come in and they want to sit down, and it's like, you guys go play in your room, because that's always going to happen, right? You're your parents, so it is always going to happen. But hey, mom and dad are watching a movie right now. You guys go play with the toys, and then whatever, we'll come in there and play after, whatever it is. That moment is for us, and I want to make sure that we know it's us and they know it's us, because we're always going to be around with them. So that's how I see it sometimes.
Yeah, I feel like everybody has needs, and as long as you're making sure everybody's needs get met, I think it's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As you were talking, I agree with what you just said. Well, with both you guys, really, you should have your own time. But I also do think that there is a time where stuff just might not, like,
work out
in that way.
Yeah, no,
and I only
absolutely.
say that because, we got 2 young ones, 2-year-old, 6 months. They need us. Like, we can't just tell them to go do. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
so it's
more
often than not, their
absolutely.
needs are immediate needs.
Yeah.
Whereas we can move things around
Yeah,
for us. Like, if I had a hard day and I need to talk about it, it don't have to be right this second.
Yeah.
If the baby's crying,
That comes first.
know?
I guess my approach was without saying, right? And I'm also in a different scenario in my household, because 7 or 6 and 3, it's like they have a bedtime. So it's like Amber and I know, as long as we make it to this point, we good.
Yeah.
8 o'clock, 8:30, they're gonna be in their rooms. Even if they're not asleep, they're in their beds watching TV, getting ready for bed. Her and I, that's our time. Or right, and sometimes it's not even us time. And I guess I say that by saying, well, both of us might be on the couch just on our phone or something.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that. Right? If that's what we can get, then that's what we can get. We might break out a little conversation in the midst of that and then go right back to our phones, or she's up doing her little thing. And again, that's still something, I guess, right? Because there's couples out there, man, I hear that they're like almost non-existent, right? We married, but the marriage is non-existent in the sense of
like 2 trains passing in the night.
kind of, yeah. Or it's like all about, like, I'm not saying not to be all about your kids, but you're making both of you all about your kids and none about you. Not even as an individual. It's like you're making that your only identity, and it's like, hey, I'm over here too. Like,
I think that's dangerous.
I agree. Yeah,
Because I think at that point, there's a need that's not getting addressed, and whether you're aware of it or not, it's not gonna just.
Yeah.
It's probably not gonna end well that way.
Right.
Yeah. That makes me think of I don't know what it was. It might have been a poster or something where, or maybe I did repost this. I forgot who said it though, but the dude was basically talking about how your marriage ain't gonna work unless God is in the middle of it, and I feel like that's really the basis of any relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're only human, so Marcus could, I don't know, he could tell me shut up, or I don't know, and I can get offended and be like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like,
Yeah.
but that's dumb, you know what I mean?
Right.
We just human, so all the interactions we have, we need something in between, because if there ain't, then it's fickle and anything can fade. This ain't funny, but Janae and I, our 3-year anniversary is coming up next week, right? So my mom was like, "You gonna throw a party?" And I'm like, "A party?" I'm like, "It's only 3 years," and she said, "In this day and age,
That's a
Might as
That's
well
a
be
long
10.
time. Yeah.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that was super crazy. I mean, but it was true at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, people, I can't speak for everybody's relationship, but people need God, bro.
For sure.
People need God in these marriages because I don't even know. I can't even tell you what's happening, but something's happening to where people don't value it the same anymore.
The initial post that went viral, and I'll try and keep this part short, but it was basically, it was Valentine's Day, and I was telling a short story of how my father-in-law always gets my wife a nice-ass bouquet on Valentine's Day, and so therefore I have to get her an even nicer bouquet. And he's been doing this. This is our 9th Valentine's we've celebrated together. And so I showed it, And somehow it went viral. People were like, oh, that's, giving major props to my father-in-law and then props to me for, like, answering the call, basically. So, like, he set the bar here and you exceeded it. And, like, oh, I love that for her. Great dad, great husband. She's so blessed, all that stuff. The point I wanted to make, though, somebody had replied and they were saying basically that I need to check myself and her dad comes first, and you can be replaced. And I took offense to that to the point where I had to make a response.
I took offense to it for the second time. First time when I read it, and now you said it again, and I'm offended.
Because I'm like, it wasn't even as much personal to me, but I just hate the connotation of marriage these days that somebody will get on there and say, her dad is forever, and you can be replaced. And it's like, bro, we're married. Mm. When did that become something temporary that you just get on somebody's thing and project that you're going to get replaced or y'all not going to be together? Like, that bothered me so much, bro. And it's, to your point, people do not value and respect marriage the same way they used to. And like I said, it wasn't personal that I felt like, I don't even know, this person could have been a troll, whatever, but it's just like the connotation just that there's no respect on marriage. And you would say that to me almost as if we're dating and this is not a for sure thing. Like, when my wife and I got married, that's it, bro. Till the wheels fall off. It's over. Like, I'm with you, you with me. If we're mad, we're going to figure it out. That's it, bro. Yeah. Like, we're in this for life. And I just want people to see marriage that way again. And I hope whatever impact we can have on people, that people can flip a switch to start realizing that marriage means a lot. And marriage is not a temporary thing. And marriage is of God. It's a blessing from God. And it's not just something that you play with. You don't just get married to somebody and just feel like you get your feelings hurt and now you get divorced. Right. You got to work through marriage. And I'm prepared to do that. And, yeah.
Yeah, like the divorce word shouldn't even be a real word.
It's not an option.
People just use it so freely that it became real.
People want options for everything, bro.
And even aside from, like, obviously you guys are married, so, I mean, it's locked in. But even if y'all were just dating, why are you getting your rocks off by telling somebody they can be replaced?
Projecting.
Yeah. I did take some notes though from that situation in regards to, like, I feel good for the Valentines because I have 2 daughters. So I want to make sure that I'm showing them. I'm using my wife as an example for them, but I'm also doing that same thing that her dad's doing for Karis's dad is doing for her, which is I'm gonna keep this train going every year. You know what I mean? If that means I have to take it up a notch every year, but I want that for myself as a father. I want to I want to get them to the point where it's like this is the standard. If
somebody's not willing to treat you this way,
and you are,
maybe they ain't trying hard enough for you. Maybe you deserve better.
Exactly. I made them a little bash.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I've been doing that for Anna for every Valentine's Day too, and I got to shout out father-in-law for that one because he planted that seed for sure.
Yeah.
I told Marcus, better man than me. I would have had a talk with my father-in-law. Hey, yo, man.
Hey, cut it out, bro.
Hey, yo, man.
Yeah, but see,
I'm doing what I can over here, dog.
see, but the problem is that if I'm once that day comes and I'm the father-in-law, don't pick up the phone and call me. Don't pick up the phone and call me and say, "Hey, man, we gotta have a discussion." Ain't no discussion.
No, we ain't.
There's no discussion. Oh. And now you made me mad. So now I'm gonna send flowers for the next whole week. Doorbell ain't gonna stop ringing.
That's crazy.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I will say this. One of them comments he responded to had me weak when it said, "I bet he bald, ain't he?"
Bro. I'm like, how did they know that?
That was hilarious to me.
Is that a thing y'all heard before?
I never heard.
Bald-headed daddies is like A1 for their daughters. I
heard it's like they either great or it's the exact opposite, but there's no in between. Like, that's funny though. Well, shit, we only got a couple minutes left. We can wrap it up for this one. How'd y'all feel about the episode? I feel like we had some good conversation today.
Nah, good conversation.
That was solid.
Yeah, I liked it.
Showed a lot of gratitude. But yeah, episode 12 of the Fly Father Fraternity is Triple F. I'm Ty.
Dre.
Marcus.
I chose that time, boy.
And we out.
Out.